Hello, today I am going to cover just a quick look at Tiny Epic Galaxies mini expansion called Satellites and Super Weapons. Guess there's not a lot of videos out there about this, so I figured I'd make one for you. We're going to go ahead and start with the setup of Satellites and Super Weapons. Looks very similar to any other setup of Tiny Epic Galaxies, except for we have a stack of cards over here that represent the super weapons that have shown up in the galaxy. You can see here on the table we have a game currently in progress, and along the dice track you can see there are satellites already in place. What that looks like on the galaxy map is here, right along that dice track, you see that there's circles around 5, 6, and 7. Those are where you're going to place the satellites to wait to activate them. So let's talk a little bit about the satellites. As you upgrade your empire, move into 2 in this case right here, we'd pay the cost to do that upgrade, and we activate one of these satellites. Now, it doesn't just become your property, you don't just put it in your galaxy map. What happens instead is you find an unoccupied planet or a planet that doesn't have a ship already on the colony track, and you place it there. In this example, you could place it on the first planet or the third one. We're going to go ahead and put it on the third. What happens now is essentially a race to see who can colonize that planet, because that is how you gain that satellite and add it to your galaxy map. The second piece of this expansion is the super weapons. The super weapons serve two purposes. They can either be activated or destroyed. Activation is done by placing a satellite on the surface of the super weapon. Unlike a normal planet, you can't place a ship on the surface to activate its ability. The only thing that can activate those abilities is the satellites themselves. So let's go ahead and see what that looks like. We'll take a satellite off this planet here. We're going to pretend that it was already in this galaxy. Like I mentioned, first person to complete that colonization track gets that satellite added to their galaxy. So we're going to take this satellite, place it on the surface of the super weapon, and activate its ability. In this case, we add one satellite and we steal 2 resources from another player. In this case, the black player, we could take 2 of their energy, or perhaps 1 energy, 1 culture, and that's what that particular super weapon does. The super weapon deck has a variety of different abilities, such as you can trap the other player's rocket, you can advance your ships by 2, there's another card that says regress all ships by 2. Alright, so if we look at this super weapon, we'll notice that it has a track similar to the colonization track that are found on the planets. However, in this case, it's called the destruction track, because ultimately what happens is you destroy the super weapon, and there's a couple of reasons you might want to do that. If you're a player that has no satellites or continues to be picked on due to that super weapon, you may decide to fly to its surface and progress along that track to destroy it. To progress along that track, you have to roll either a economy dice or a diplomacy dice, and that will move you along the track to destroy it. And there's a couple of things that happen when you destroy the super weapon. For every satellite that's on its surface, or how many times it's been activated, you actually get a single energy. So if there's 3 satellites on the surface, you get 3 energies. Another thing you get is 2 victory points. So in this case right here, let's say that the player on the left got tired of being picked on, goes ahead and flies his ship into that galaxy, lands on the track, progresses along it, destroys it. The satellite leaves play entirely. The ship returns to its home galaxy, and this card slips in underneath their colonized planets to indicate that they have 2 additional victory points. When that super weapon is destroyed, the next super weapon card is revealed, and you can start using satellites to activate or destroy that one as well. The expansion adds kind of a nice little bit of strategy in that there's another tool to use to mess with other players more directly than you can in the game otherwise. But it also gives you an opportunity to collect 2 easy victory points just by, rolling an economy or a diplomacy. It's a good way to pick up some victory points. That is a high-level overview of the Satellites and Super Weapons expansion. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below, and thank you for watching.